Rose, the latest is that he is practicing with the team. We don't know if he's going to play in the season opener. Jalen, you played 13 years in the NBA. What is the vibe? Like, how does this work when he's with the team, interacting with his teammates, and playing with them?
I think one of the more overrated things for people who don't play sports in particular is the dynamics of a relationship with your teammates. You don't have to personally like your teammate. Y'all don't have to even get along, but y'all can still have great chemistry on the court. See Shaq and Kobe. They were so very dominant and they didn't see eye to eye that they only won 3 championships in a row. Clearly, I'm not putting these guys in that category, but Joel Embiid, right? One of the top 3 MVP candidates last year. Ben Simmons, one of the top 10 players in the Eastern Conference. And they also have Tobias Harris. Also, so for Philadelphia, this is where you need Daryl Morey to actually make a deal for Ben Simmons. This is why you brought him there.
Yeah.
This is where you need Doc Rivers to use Ben Simmons at his apex, which he didn't do in the playoffs last year. And then went to the podium and basically said that they can't win with Ben playing the point. That's what he said. And then did a media tour to try to clean it up so Ben to come back to the team so they can actually trade him. So how are the teammates acting? They know it's business. And they got expectations. And Ben know the only way I'm gonna get moved is the ball. That's the only way he gonna get moved. So he's motivated, they motivated. They're gonna come out of the game, they're gonna come out of the gate looking like a unit.
I think he does play in the opener. And I think that they run some plays for him. And I think he puts up some numbers. I think they're going to feature him in order to get rid of him. It's going to be very interesting to watch what unfolds there. And Jalen, there's been some drama unfolding in the Major League Baseball playoffs. Series between the Braves and the Dodgers.
Demand. No decision has been made on Simmons' status for Wednesday's season opener at the Pelicans. Here's his teammate Tobias Harris on the situation.
The vibe was what it was, right? Like, was it perfect? No. Like, but we're here to do a job, and that's to win basketball games. So we put our big boy pants on, and we get on the floor and do what we do, and that's pretty much it.
But it was kind of awkward though when he came, when he showed up today.
No, it was perfectly fine. We're grown men here. This is not middle school, 7th grade, 8th grade. Oh, you did this to me, you did this. No, it's all right. As soon as we step on that floor, it's just basketball.
For more, I'm pleased to welcome in not only our basketball analyst, but one of these people who are just winning at life, Shanae Ogumake, who is on the debut of NBA Today at 3 Eastern over on ESPN2. I don't know, Shanae, I don't know, like where you went to college, what you do for a living, how many different things you excel at, etc. If you're
I appreciate you.
If you ought to after that. Look at that. Whoever gave anyone an intro like that. All right, look, but it's true. If you're one of his teammates, Shanae, you've been, you've played in the league, you know what this is. How are you handling this situation with Ben Simmons?
Honestly, I think it's a little 50-50. I'd be a little disappointed because Ben Simmons is a 3-time All-Star, a top defensive player in the NBA, finished 2nd in Defensive Player of the Year voting last year. But we all know basketball is a business, and I'd be fine because at least I know, all right, this is our core and he might go. It's better to have that clarity early on. And look, we went through the process together. I'd feel a little bad, but the reality is, if I'm Joel Embiid, I'm building off of what I accomplished last year. I mean, every year Joel Embiid gets better and better. 26 points, 12 rebounds last year, right up there as an MVP candidate. If I'm Tobias Harris, who you just heard from, I averaged 20 last year as well. Those two combined for 50 points. So I know that the core of this team, even without Ben, will be just fine. He brings some intangibles to the game, but for Philly, I mean, they just want that to stop being in limbo. But overall, it's a business, and we know that this is just part of it.
Meantime, the 76ers' first home game is Friday against a team that knows nothing of controversy, the Brooklyn Nets. So we can't wait to see how Philly fans...
Yeah, he played more, for sure, today. And, we're just going to take our time and keep building.
What about the chemistry? I didn't see you interacting with the teammates much. I know it's important.
Yeah, it'll grow. It'll come back. I'm not that concerned right now with it. They're they're interchanging. It's coming, and it just takes time, you know. So chemistry is huge, and I think overall our chemistry is phenomenal right now, and we want to keep it growing.
The Sixers open the season Wednesday in New Orleans before a showdown with the East favorite Nets on Friday on ESPN. And just 4 of their first 10 are against teams that made the playoffs last season. So Philly could have a chance to get off to a hot start here. And for more on this, now we bring in Adrian Wojnarowski, our insider. Ben Simmons, he returned to Philly about a week ago, and he rejoined the team on the court over the weekend. But Woj, what does that participation really mean?
Malika, his participation physically has been incremental. He went from not really doing much the first few days besides take a COVID test to starting to shoot, to starting to get on the floor with his team. But the mental engagement is something that still is coming along. How invested is Ben Simmons going to be in this Sixer season and team? And is he ready to start playing in games? And that's the decision now that's going to have to be made between he and Doc Rivers over the next few days. When does he debut this season, and does he debut?
So just because he's there doesn't mean it's necessarily all smooth sailing. But at the top of the show, you talked about DeAndre Ayton. So what's the deal with his contract extension in Phoenix?
Malika, this is a significant development. I'm told that the DeAndre Ayton extension talks have ended without a deal ahead of the 6 p.m. deadline tonight. Now, this is the #1 overall pick from the 2018 draft. And it is shocking to, I think, a lot of people around the league that Phoenix did not offer him a max contract. DeAndre Ayton was not accepting less than that. You saw several players in his draft class get those max deals. And now Robert Sarver, their owner in Phoenix, who has a history of really withholding financial commitment, to try to keep a contender together. He's faced now with a very unhappy DeAndre Ayton. And then next summer, the possibility of restricted free agency for DeAndre Ayton, when you're going to see teams maneuver, perhaps at a chance to sign him to an offer sheet, sign him to an early exit in his contract, that even if Phoenix matches, they might lose him a year early. He could also sign the qualifying offer, Malika, play out, and then become an unrestricted free agent the following year. I think this decision in Phoenix by Robert Sarver could have real dire consequences as they try to keep this Western Conference champion together and trying to get back there again, not this year, but in the future.
So what are you hearing now about DeAndre Ayton's mindset?
He's very unhappy. Listen, he saw his peers who got max deals and looked at what he's done so far, how much he's sacrificed. I think offensively, with the arrival of Chris Paul, with the emergence of Devin Booker, that this was a player who, really bought in with Monty Williams. They've had a great relationship. He's gotten the best of them. And this is a team certainly unlike anybody else in his class, that 2018 draft class. He's won. He's gone to the NBA Finals and played a significant role on it. This is going to be really interesting in Phoenix now this season. DeAndre Ayton is not happy, and he's going to have some options after the season about how to proceed with his future, whether it's in Phoenix or somewhere else.
Absolutely. And DeAndre Ayton, he's always been very impressive, very mature in how he sort of looks at these things. So it's going to be interesting, Woj, to see this play out. Please don't go anywhere. We know there's going to be more news to break here, but we really need to talk about this a little bit more. We have so many experts here to break this down. Again, that is DeAndre Ayton not agreeing to terms for a contract extension in this moment. So, Richard, what is your reaction to that?
Well, I wonder how much Sarver cares. You look at his history over the past, since he took over, as ownership, he has been very hesitant to spend money. And then when you have the #1 pick, when they take you to the NBA Finals and you don't reward that player, that's the player that you don't want to reward. To me, yes, it could be tense. He could be, DeAndre Ayton could be frustrated with this, but I don't know how much Sarver cares. He looks at this purely as just business.
Zach Lowe, how do you read this?
Look, I thought all along cooler heads would prevail. A max deal would get done for all the reasons RJ just said. Mikal Bridges, 4 years, 90. I thought maybe that's a sign. Maybe that's a sign that there'll be a little thawing, and there just never has been, and according to Woj, never was. And to me, the worry now for the Suns is not losing DeAndre Ayton. He's not going to sign a 1 year deal. He's not going to go anywhere. The worry is years, because now you've opened up the Pandora's box where some team can say, here's a 3-year offer sheet, and you have to match that. That's the mid, and then you lose him for years 4 and 5. You lose the longevity. That's the worry now. You've opened up a Pandora's box. You can't shut it.
Well, my thing